This is Alan Fry from FX Empire. Let's take a look at the best stocks, crypto, and ETFs to watch this week. First up is Disney, which reports earnings. Disney broke out above 2019 resistance up around 155 in December 2020 and shot up above the 200 level. Now that was in March, and it's pulled back since that time, and it's actually posting a negative year-to-date return. And now it's come back up to this 50-day, 200-day moving average confluence right here. And we may get some good news, but Disney's probably destined to have a pretty weak 2021. I think in terms of short term, if we get a positive reading, we probably get it back up into the 180s. But you see resistance is right up here around the 185, 187 level, and we'll need a breakout above that in order to test this prior high. Moving on, let's take a look at Boeing. Now, Boeing had a good Friday here. As if you look back on Boeing, you can see it's had a very bad time since 2019. It came back down to about the 200, 205 level in July, and it's tested it now 3 times, carving this potential a triple bottom pattern. Now, it's come back up. It gapped up on Friday, coming up to this rising, to this descending trend line after Pfizer reported very good results with their oral treatment for COVID-19. Now, there's hopes that that will finally bring business travelers into the skies and set off or take off the last government restrictions for COVID next year. So this is really something to watch because Boeing's orders have suffered by the slow resumption of economic activity in other parts of the world, and its orders may pick up if we get some more movement in putting the pandemic behind us. Now, let's take a look at Shiba Inu, excuse me. Shiba Inu, we'll take a look at it on FTX. Now, as you can see, it broke out above the prior high in May, right here around, we'll call it 3996. Right here, shut up to an all-time high right near 90, and then it started to pull back. Now, as you can see, we have this big 2-day sell-off. There was a very big seller, multiple billion-dollar seller right here that took it right down to 42. Now it bounced into the weekend. It's consolidating, but I don't particularly like this spot right here. Even though it's right at this prior high, I think very often the best trades come when you flush through a prior high and shake out all those stops right here. So I'm really looking down here at this 50-day moving average, which is right around, say around the 40 level. Now, if you take a look back in September, you can see the coin based along this and then took off in that very strong 2-legged rally. Now, I wouldn't expect it to come all the way back down to, say, the 20s, so this might be a really good spot right here just above this prior high. Again, that's about the 40 level. Moving on, let's take a look at the Russell 2000 ETF, which finally broke out after consolidating from all the way back in February 2021. Now, this is either an ascending triangle or a symmetrical triangle, no matter what you want to call it. It's gotten up to about the 243 level. And this is kind of a slow mover compared to the QQs and SPY. So I think we might start to get a pullback here. Now, here's the buy zone right here between about 230 and 235. Now, I know there are a bunch of traders on this channel, but a seasonality in small caps will last it through March of next year. So a longer term hold is probably the best way to play this index. Finally, Wynn Resorts, which reports earnings this week. Now, Wynn's been a bad story this year so far. It went through a recovery. As you can see, it got up pretty high in March, and then just the bottom just fell out because of the Delta variant and revenues in Macau and Las Vegas really taking a hit. Well, because of all the activity in the United States, Las Vegas research come roaring back. They're showing very good growth, but not so in Macau, where the Chinese authorities are still playing the zero COVID game. Now, between that and at the end of the year, I believe that new Communist Party officials will be overseeing Macau, and they're still posting very big losses. So this is keeping a lid on Wynn, and it should be very interesting to see what current events look like when they report earnings.